Yes, sir, it's good.
All right. Where are you located, by the way, Deepika?
Sir, I am from Pune.
Which area in Pune?
Sir, Aund Road.
All right. We will meet soon.
We are live.
Yeah. We will meet soon.
Yes, sir, it will be an honor to meet you, sir.
Pleasure. Yeah.
So Deepika, you can start. Just a minute, I'm sharing the PPT.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Deepika.
Hello and namaste, everyone. Welcome you all to this session today. I am Dr. Deepika Tayal. I am a homeopath and a yoga wellness instructor. I am associated with Swasti Yoga Center since almost for 4 to 5 years now, and I am glad to be associated with Swasti Yoga Center. So today we are celebrating the Global Yoga Festival organized by Swasti Yoga Center. Through this Global Yoga Festival, we are conducting informative and educative session on yoga and health and fitness. So we are glad to invite you to be a part of this session. Today we have with us a very special guest, Dr. Atul Raske. He is an Ayurvedic physician and Secretary General of International Ayurvedic Association. He is a founder of Sri Niramaya Ayurvedic Kendra, founder of Beyond Horizon Health and Social Circle. He teaches Ayurveda to over 300 Ayurveda students all across the countries. He has written many books like Ayurveda for You, Ayurveda Jidnyasa, English Chakra Samhita, Shishu Health. He has also been awarded with several awards in the field of medicine and Ayurveda. We are proud to have Sir with us, and today we'll be discussing on the topic coexistence and yogic lifestyle. So we welcome you all, sir.
Thank you.
So
Thank you so much.
thank you. Before starting with this session, we'll start with the Patanjali mantra. So let's sit straight and tall. Get ready for the Patanjali prayer. Join our palms in Namaste. Close our eyes. Focusing on the breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's start with the prayer. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakarotam pravaram muninam patanjali pranatosmi. Slowly open your eyes. So we have few questions. These questions are like everyone's some doubts, and even we personally have some questions about Ayurveda and yoga. So we'll like to ask you these questions. Okay. So there are some certain goals of yoga, and even Ayurveda has certain goals. So, can you explain how the goals of Ayurveda and yoga are interrelated?
Yes, first of all, I must thank everyone in Swasti Yoga. That's my extended family. And everyone related to Swasti Yoga is related to me and our organizations for a very long time. I have seen the hard work they have been doing and bringing all the experts together in view of this Global Yoga Festival throughout the year. It's not easy task. I must congratulate on behalf of all the organizations to everyone who is associated with Swasti Yoga. Artist, congratulations. Uh, One of the most important things in wherever I go here in India and abroad, the most important question people ask me, what is the difference between yoga and Ayurveda? So let me tell you that they are both the sister sciences. One must admit that these are the two sister sciences. Now everyone knows yoga in accordance with the Ayush Department of Ayush, which is everyone knows that Ayush is a abbreviation of Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, homeopathy, and Siddha and homeopathy. Uh, when you talk about just yoga and Ayurveda of these, uh, because these were not the mainstream allopathic or modern sciences, they were ancient science, and apart from the mainstream allopathic medical science. But Ayurveda has been in existence, coexistence for last many centuries, along with yoga. Probably both of them originated at the same time in India, and they were more or less practiced and taught in the universities also, ancient universities. There can be references which can be found in various texts and of Ayurveda and yoga, Geranda Samhita, Charaka Samhita, Ashtanga Hridayam, Ashtanga Sangrama. What are the similarities? Similarity, most important similarity is that both of them have the same goal to bring happy, healthy, and long life in a man's life. Because yoga says that the pranayama philosophy is that a person comes on earth with certain number of inhalations and exhalations. So, or maybe certain number of heartbeats. So, if you control, if you happily control uh, the number of inhalations and exhalations, probably you will live more happily, healthily, and long. So, the basic fundamental goal of Ayurveda and yoga is the same. Uh, but they were separated by various things. Yoga more of the yoga philosophy focuses and emphasizes on medicine-less health. So achievement of health without taking medicines and controlling various aspects of your physical, mental, emotional activity is focused mainly in yoga. So even if it is kriya or there are very less tools used by yoga philosophy, unlike Ayurveda. Ayurveda is a profound medical science. It has its own diagnostic methodology. It has its own fundamentals of physiology and anatomy, understanding the human body and its functioning. Uh, they also use a lot of various medicinal preparations, starting from basic, simple spices and herbs to very complex medicines like metals or minerals or even uh, gold and silver and diamonds, for instance. So, uh, Ayurveda mainly uses the daily life schedule, food, spices as medicines, herbs and minerals as medicines. It also emphasizes. So, Ayurvedic philosophy is much more profound and broader, and yoga focuses more on the control and finding balance within oneself. So I think that both have their advantages, both have their difficulties and challenges as far as the modern time is concerned. Yes.
Yeah, and I think, sir, both are such a wonderful practice so that when we combine both of them, definitely will help in a healthy and
Yes, yes, most
happily
certainly.
living.
Yes, yes, most certainly, yes.
Yes, sir. So, and like you being a Ayurvedic doctor, when you deal with your patients, how can we apply the yogic principles in the practice?
Uh, it's again a very good question because if you look at the Ayurvedic philosophy, it also gives a lot of stress in balance. What do we mean by balance? Balance is first is understanding the imbalances and then trying to create a balance within the systems, the fundamental principles which act as energies. You can call them energies if I'm not wrong. Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. If they vitiate, they increase or reduce in certain amount, they are bound to create difficulties, disorders, and imbalances, which can make a person sick mentally, emotionally, and physically. So creating a balance is the most important aspect of Ayurvedic philosophy. Also in yogic philosophy, I think that the discipline and bringing together the word itself, yoga, word itself means bringing everything together for mental peace, health, and well-being. Uh, the- I think that if you look at the international scenario, the countries who have known yoga for a very long time, they know yoga first and then Ayurveda. So, countries like USA, for example, or European countries where I personally travel every year, I have seen that there is a lot of awareness as far as yoga is concerned. And then now people have started understanding what Ayurveda is all about because the Ayurvedic philosophy is very close to what people eat, how they behave, what seasons make a difference, how seasons make a difference in individual health, how people can utilize their sleep, their activities, their daily schedule, how they can change according to the season, how they can eat according to the season and their own constitution as medicine. This is the beauty of Ayurvedic philosophy. And then now people have started understanding that medicine is not necessarily a pill or a syrup or an injection. Medicine is something which you think about, how you think, how you eat, what you eat, when you sleep. So this is just each other. Yoga and Ayurveda can just be an extensions of each other. We have been using, in fact, not me or Vikas or anyone. Uh, I can see Dr. Mrunalini from Satara, who is also our counterpart. Uh, we have been using yoga and Ayurveda. Our teachers and gurus also have been using yoga and Ayurveda as one, especially for the musculoskeletal disorders, the disorders of spine, disorders, diseases of joints and metabolic disorders, which are a great part of the challenge to the medical fraternity these days. So I think that yes, Ayurveda and yoga can be they're almost one. Only thing is that they have some conceptual differences. And if you ask someone who has been practicing yoga for a very long time, he will ask no to medicines. He will say that the medicine should never be taken. Let it be Ayurvedic or allopathic, or there should not be a need of medicine. And Ayurveda says that anything that can create a balance is welcome. So nasti dravyam anaushadam. Anything which can be utilized well to create health is medicine. It can be a thought, it can be a asana, it can be a pranayam, it can be a kriya. There are fundamental differences also. For example, basti in Ayurveda and basti, or the nasal uh, nasya and the nasal treatments in yoga are completely different. In Ayurveda, Panchakarma needs a lot of preparation, which is called Purva Karma and Samsarjana Karma. So there are many preparatory procedures which one has to follow to make a Panchakarma, which is necessarily a detoxifying activity. So there are differences for sure, and one has to understand that in the changing times, how things are changing completely. I was talking to a community of our European students a few days ago, and if you look at the Ayurvedic philosophy, we have a list of hundreds and hundreds of food ingredients and spices and everything else. and which unfortunately do not have a lot of things which were not in existence until a few years ago. For example, tea or coffee or tomatoes or potatoes, or there were many things which are very recent to even Indian philosophy, which are not described. Uh, Forget about pasta, pizza, or olive oil. They were never a part of Indian subcontinent, and so they are not explained in the Ayurvedic philosophy. Also, if you look at the changes in the seasons, we necessarily know only 3 seasons, but we have 6 seasons in India, uh, which cannot be seen in other parts of the world. If you go to Europe, the seasons are completely different. If you go to Australia, for instance, the seasons are completely different. You go to Middle East, the seasons are going to be completely different. So I think that uh, to utilize yoga and Ayurveda better to the international community, together we have to create some new philosophy according to the local needs, according to the local relevances, and then only we can, create some more impactful awareness of Ayurveda and yoga together. A long answer, isn't it?
Yeah, sir, but it is very helpful, sir. So quite points were cleared, but one more question I would like to ask. Any advice you would like to give doctors how they can integrate like both the practices together, yoga and Ayurveda, in their practice?
Do you know one very important thing that for last 20 to 25 years, I'm in practice since 21 years, and what I have seen is the increasing number of autoimmune disorders and degenerative pathology, the infertility, metabolic syndrome, and it was never anticipated. If you look at the number of cancer patients, if you look at the number of people who cannot have babies, if you look at the people who have stress, metabolic disorders like diabetes mellitus or polycystic syndrome, you will be surprised to see the number and the rampant growth in the number of people who are not healthy. They are living long, but they are not healthy, and that is going to be the main problem. If you look at the people who are dying with the disorders, the top disorders are not some diseases like COVID or any bacterial, viral, or fungal infection. They are born inside the body. The cancers, the cardiac illnesses or diabetes are not an outcome of something which comes from outside and attacks your body. They are born inside, and that is going to be one of the most important aspects of medical treatment. So people now, if you look at the advertisements on television or people coming to a clinic with new products, pharmaceuticals. So these pharmaceuticals are now turning towards nutraceuticals. So they are trying to locate and trying to explore more and more nourishment facts. So for instance, until a few years ago, maybe 15 years ago, no one was talking about B12. Probably yes, but no was talking about vitamin D. Now everyone is saying that vitamin D is useful in all the disorders, starting from COVID to bone diseases to hair fall to infertility. So I think that the aspect is completely changing from the microorganisms to your own body. So I think what my advice to the doctors is going to be is to inculcate a a mix, a blend of whatever you know and whatever is available. So it can, if an Ayurvedic practitioner, I must compliment Dr. Vikas, who started to, he was one of the most important young dynamic students of International Ayurveda Association, products of we are very proud of his activities and achievements. But he showed a lot of people a path which they can choose to bring together the wisdom of Ayurveda and yoga. And yes, musculoskeletal disorders, as I say, that only can, if an orthopedic, I have a dream, I have a dream that there is a hospital of geriatric care. Only old people come, and everything is available: yoga, Ayurveda, and allopathy. So then this can become more and more holistic. That this because a lot of allopathic doctors think that the Ayurvedic medicine and Ayurvedic fraternity is nothing but a bluff, or I don't know what. But a lot of Ayurvedic doctors keep criticizing the allopathic medicine, for example, the vaccines and everything. So I think that uh, ultimate aim of any medical science is healing and giving people more healthy life. So it's like dharma. It is like religion. All religions, if they unite, they will only work in the well-being of human race. So my advice is to bring together all the knowledge and information and start practicing in specific work, specific disorders. Select one specialty you want to go ahead and work in that particular fraternity for 7, 8 years, and you will become a specialist, super specialty expert.
Thank you so much for your advice, sir. It will definitely help all the doctors out there. Yes, sir. And I feel like people have actually realized the importance of all the ancient practices like yoga and Ayurveda, which with time people were not realizing how beneficial it is for a person's healing and maintaining an integral approach towards making them cure. So I think these practices are coming up again, and people have realized the importance and the advantages of using these ancient practices. Definitely will like it will have a good impact on others' health.
Exactly.
So you are also associated with the like you are a part of the International Ayurveda Association. So can you give some information about the International Ayurveda Association and the research work which it is going on in related to yoga Ayurveda activities and the promotion?
Yes, International Ayurveda Association was founded by our guru, Professor Dr. P.H. Kulkarni. Uh, it had been in existence with various other organizations as sister concerns. For instance, the Dirgayu International, which is peer-reviewed journal for the research in the field of Ayurveda, yoga, and ancient medical sciences. We have the four issues every year of Dirgayu International, which is a peer-reviewed journal for last 30 years. Um, Institute of Indian Medicine. So whatever Indian medicine, Siddha, Unani, Ayurveda, Yoga, everything is available for courses and information in Institute of Indian Medicine, which was previously called as also as Ayurveda Academy. So International Ayurveda Association uh, is the umbrella which brings all the people who are working in the field of uh, Ayurveda, yoga, homeopathy, pharmaceuticals, and other medical sciences. Uh, Primarily, we work in the field of educating and propagating yoga and Ayurveda because we are Ayurvedic doctors ourselves. We undertake conferences, training programs. We write and publish books in various languages. For example, we are coming up with a course in Spanish language, which will have 21 uh, different speeches of Ayurveda experts, which is going to be telecasted by Vita Veda International Barcelona. Um, so there are many festivals about Ayurveda and Yoga, expos. In Pune, I was personally associated and very fortunate to be a part of organizing committee as at various posts in Pune. Altogether 38 international conferences in my curriculum. So there are various activities. Uh, just to put a couple of more points in your earlier question, uh, there are many doctors who are now becoming more and more open to new ideas because they have themselves understood the limitations of the modern medical science, also the nutraceuticals, also the nutrition. What nutrition we receive these days, it is a product of a lot of agriculture revolution. And after the agriculture revolution, the quality of to just to produce a lot, the quality is decreasing. I was talking to one of the school parents. group, and I showed them the tomato ketchup wrappers. Ha, ha, just a question. There are a few people who are attending this. What do you think? How much is the percentage of uh, tomatoes in tomato ketchup or a tomato sauce? What do you think? How many people are there to attend this? Can you unmute them?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Anyone? Do you know how much is the percent? Dr. Vikas, hi.
No. Namaste, sir.
Namaste. A
A great
busy
blessing.
doctor, busy yogi.
A great blessing to have you at Swasti.
All my pleasure. Pleasure is all mine. Do you know how much is the percentage of tomatoes
No.
in a tomato ketchup pack? No?
No.
Anyone else? Dr. Muralini, do you know? Let us ask a homeopath.
No. I didn't see.
Okay, all right. I will tell you. There are three main companies. I will not take their names on an online platform or social media. But there are three companies. The minimum. Any guess? Any guess, Dr. Vikas?
But it would be quite less, maybe 20-30% or something like that.
Yeah, 30% was a very strange guess for if you take 100 ml. So you mean 30 ml will be the tomato ketchup in tomato ketchup, right? It was a wild guess, but not bad because the least is 12%.
Okay.
The maximum is 21.
Okay. Very less.
So if your child is eating two spoons of tomato ketchup, 1.5 every day. If your child is eating 2 spoons of tomato ketchup or a sauce in a day, only half spoon is tomatoes. What is the 1.5 spoons? It's all chemicals. So a lot of people ask me why these nourishment disorders are happening and why we are exposed to so many diseases. As early as I saw a patient 17 years with hypothyroidism. She was taking 75 micrograms of yesterday itself, 75 micrograms of Thironol L-Troxin every day, and she had polycystic ovaries. She's 19. To get married and to produce children, she has at least 7 to 8, 10 years, and multiplied by 12 menstrual periods. So she's going to miss so many of them, and she's going to have so many problems in the fertility. So I think that there is this is a time when there has to be a paradigm shift completely. We have to understand what we eat. We are going to become that. So if we eat chemicals, our body is going to become chemicals. It's not going to be body. There will not be a happy mind inside. If we are going to eat everything which comes in a pack or a wrapper or a tin, we are not going to achieve anything. If we are going to be so less active, if we are not going to follow the circadian rhythm, if we are not going to follow what the nature, the birds and the animals are following, we are not going to sustain and survive longer and happily. We may live longer. We are not going to have life in life. So I think that this is very, very important to bring all the sciences and their philosophy together, because the modern medical science is losing philosophy and focus. They are now treating the reports. We have to start treating the symptoms, treating the people, treating the pain. We cannot treat reports. A person who has 120 and 80 blood pressure is considered normal. I have seen people with 90 and 60 blood pressure normal for their forever, for throughout their life. So 120 and 80 is high blood pressure for them. So there cannot be a protocol. There cannot be, for instance, the cholesterol. Until a few years ago, 240 total cholesterol was considered normal. Now they say that once you start going above 200, you have to start statins. Statins are the medicines which have their own side effects. So, and people have started with statins at as early as 30 years of their age. HbA1c, the golden marker for diabetes, understanding diabetes, they have, everyone does the glycosylated hemoglobin. People used to say that it has to be less than 7.5. Now they say you have to bring it below 7. And if you have 6.5, then you start taking the pill. So I think that the, it is more and more a pharmaceutical centric system, and we have to understand that it cannot work like that. A pill for every ill is not going to work, because you start labeling everything as illnesses. They are just imbalances. They are just the purva rupas. They are just the initial symptoms, which probably can turn into more difficult diseases and disorders. But it is definitely not something which a healing science, which a science of medicine is aimed at. We have to create cheap, easy, and effective remedies. And only Ayurveda, Yoga, and all the medical sciences, if they come together, can achieve. Because the focus is now reducing from treating and curing to treating the reports and only giving the pills. Yeah, sorry. Again, a long question, long answer to a short question, right?
No, sir, it was really helpful, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. So because we only consider pills as the solution, but we are not understanding that behind, like we need pills because we are not following a proper lifestyle. We are not focusing on the simple things like what we are eating daily. So that
Exactly.
is the biggest cause of all the illnesses. And
Exactly.
yeah,
Yes.
as a practitioner, like you are giving us the insight that there are many other causes. We should focus mainly on that, and many times we might not even require a pill. It can be just a changes like in day-to-day
Absolutely.
routine which will help
Absolutely.
a patient. Yes, sir.
So it is said that a toxin to one can be medicine to the other. So one has to understand what your prakriti is, what your constitute, what you are, how you can react to certain stimuli. It can be food, it can be emotions, it can be people. So once you start understanding how the uh, how your mind, body, and your systems are interrelated with each other, your own self. So this is the journey from macrocosm to microcosm. You start looking within, and that is very rare in these days when people are just flaunting everything. Take a picture, and unless you get 100 likes in 2 hours, uh, people don't sleep. So that's something really which worries me sometimes. Yes.
Yes, sir. So that is the cause of become the cause of stress nowadays.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have discussed about the goals of yoga and Ayurveda. You explained how in practice we can apply both of them. So can you explain how integration of yoga and Ayurveda take place at the global level?
Yes, as I said, I will give you an example. A few years ago, it was probably 2012, 2011, around 10 years ago, when I went to Milan. They have Milano Yoga Festival. Uh, I had heard before going there, I had heard about Milan Yoga Festival. But when I saw, it was a mammoth gathering. It was only the number of stalls. Only the number of stalls was around 100. They were selling all the products of yoga, related to yoga, yoga mats and incense sticks and yoga books and everything. So it is not just about integrating Ayurveda and yoga for the cause of creating balance and taking care of the disorders. It is also about the need, the global need of these type of things. Yoga and Ayurveda are becoming more and more popular. For one thing is, yes, they definitely give a new hope that probably you will not need a medicine. Even if you need, you will probably need less medicines. And you may have a lot of enthusiasm, happiness across the life. And that is what is missing in the West. Though they have beautiful infrastructures and extraordinary, uh, resources. They definitely are lacking in terms of quality uh, thoughts, creativity, and focus in life. So I think that yes, there is a lot of need of yoga and Ayurveda being together. How? Yes, there has to be a simple language towards yoga and Ayurveda, because a lot of people say to me that asana is only 1%. One part, it's like an iceberg. It's a very popular frame of all the yoga speeches what I have heard until today, that they show an iceberg and only 1/7 is the asana. But why asanas became popular? Because people want to do something for their health apart from taking the regular gym sessions and eating a lot of proteins. They definitely want something more, which is more holistic, which will create balance and increase their enthusiasm for living. So they turn to the philosophy of yoga. But if you look at the philosophy of yoga, it is very difficult to follow. Uh, at the same time, the Ayurvedic philosophy is more practical. It's more in sync with what is going in. Ayurveda doesn't deny or doesn't ask you to leave unless it is not harming, unless it is harming your body, mind, and soul. So I think that if we unite the goodnesses, the easy practical things in yoga and Ayurveda, it is going to be the key. For instance, I will not just be conceptual. I'll give you an example.
Yes.
For instance, a lot of people, even in Indian continent, use Indian style of commodes, Indian style of uh, latrines. Uh, when people uh, are asking me questions, I give all the explanation about how they are good for the individual defecation and evacuation every day. The Indian style of evacuation is the best. Now there are a lot of Westerners also who are using the Indian style of defecation. But if you look at the Indian women after menopause, they'll put on a lot of weight. There are a lot of people, especially women, who have osteoarthritis. They have the slip discs and sciatica and degenerative pathologies of the spine. And then we have to advise them to use the Western so style of defecation. So we insist that they should start to use. So this amalgamation, this adaptation of what is good and what is bad has to be done with practical approaches. And this research of very fundamental and basic things can uh, be the important tool of Ayurveda and yoga. What papers I have seen, they are more the research papers, as we belong to the research organization. What papers I we come across are necessarily about the diseases and disorders. How turmeric can heal this particular disease, or how Durva Nasya, the nasal drops of this particular grass, can create migraine, create medicine, wonderful effects for migraine, this and that. I think the research paper should be more based on the uh, observations than just the disorders. What lifestyle changes brought into you? Because what I have seen is the yoga practitioners who become yoga practitioners. Uh, for last many years, there were many good yoga practitioners, and unfortunately, many of them did not have any information and knowledge about pathology, physiology, and anatomy. But since last 10 years or something, the Indian government has started taking it under their care, and now they are creating experts of for instance, the QCI, Ayush department is coming up with the protocols where none of the yoga practitioner, none of the yoga teacher has less information than fundamental doctor or a physiotherapist. So I think that this is going to create a lot of awareness as far as the scientific writing also is concerned, because it is not just about what you can provide, how it can help. It is also about what and how much you can document. Unless we document what we are experiencing and what we are seeing in others, it's not going to be it's not going to reach out to the maximum people and to the global audience for a very long time. It is going to vanish. People will become big, people will become brands, the institutes will become brands, but unfortunately the brands do not create the brands do not will not create a paradigm shift. They will be able to sell some things, you know.
Yes, sir. Rightly said, sir. So, and we are also lucky to have like again learned the pathology and the
Yeah,
physiology,
exactly.
anatomy again during our yoga practices. Like it is really helpful for everyone being as a yoga teachers to learn all these.
Exactly.
Yes, sir. So as you said, like my last question to you is, how do you see Swasthi Yoga Center in coming 5 years, sir, as a parent organization?
That's a very interesting question. I don't know how many people were asked with this question. If you ask this question to everyone, uh, they will say that yes, definitely, Swasthi Yoga has a lot of potential, because yoga itself has a lot of potential. Uh, until a few years ago, there were not many good yoga practitioners who were good orators. There were not many yoga practitioners who were Ayurveda doctors. And there were not many yoga practitioners who were certified by the Indian central government of India. So I think these all things have come together in Swasti, that and their consistency and dedication. If you look at the aesthetics, and if nothing else, I have always appreciated their aesthetic sense and the efforts they have been taking. This is very unique. This is something which we have not seen in the organizations which do not belong to any medical university or any. They do not receive any grant, for instance. Similar is the International Ayurveda Association, which I am working as the Secretary General of. We also do not go to any organizations or medical companies or pharmaceutical industry or universities, or for that instance, the Ayush department, for any funds. And that keeps us going on our own beliefs and faiths, and that gives us also the freedom to undertake and approach the people and our own ideas. So I think that yes, Swasti Yoga has great future in many aspects. I think the most important aspect is which they have already undertaken is to create awareness. One, two is to create information and a network of good people for good causes. This is very difficult to achieve, because many good people have many good intentions, but they don't come together. So many good people with good intention coming together frequently without any major benefits, because this is for benefit of everyone. You interviewing me is benefiting both of us. You interviewing me and others listening is benefiting them. Them listening and probably calling me and talking, discussing something else is going to benefit us. So this is the network of goodness, and this is very difficult to achieve in such these times of difficult. Last couple of years, for instance, what I have seen is people with long COVID, for instance, or people who had bad lungs. The lung involvements, the scores were more than 20, 15. They came to us and they started taking sessions of pranayam, yoga, and Ayurvedic medicines, and they recovered like miracles. So I think that newer and newer challenges are going to happen. Newer and newer viruses are going to, because everyone is mutating. Viruses are mutating, humans are mutating too. So the best tool to mutate is to introspect and utilize something which has been in existence for thousands and thousands of years. Yoga and Ayurveda has helped humans to mutate in the right direction. And I am really, really happy to see people who are associated and who have been part of Swasti Yoga Center for last. And it is not a very long journey. For Swasti, it had been just 1 decade, more or less. So, in 1 decade, what they have achieved, how much they have reached, because I have traveled with Dr. Vikas abroad, and he has accompanied me in a couple of international conferences. For here in Pune also, we have come up with wonderful conferences and gatherings of researchers of Ayurveda and yoga. And I think that Swasthi is not just one activity. It is an example and a roadmap to many people who are following their footsteps. And I'm sure that they have a wonderful future. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. And we all are glad to be a part of Swasti Yoga family. Like for us, it has become a family because sir and ma'am are already like they are every time ready to help any person, like any student of theirs, to guide and like help them in their career and the teachings. So
Absolutely.
it's a pleasure to be a part of the Swasti Yoga family.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
thank you so much, sir. This was all from our side. Anyone else would like to ask anything? They can go ahead. Any questions?
Namaste, Dr. Atul.
Namaste.
Uh, I have two questions.
Yes.
Again, this is what I have read and heard, right? Okay, and I am glad that I am among the Ayurveda stalwarts. When what I have understood is the difference between allopathy, contemporary, what we call, uh, and Ayurveda. One is that allopathy works only on the symptoms, whereas Ayurveda works more on the root cause. Root cause in the sense, eliminating the root cause of the ailment. That is one. And second is dhairya. Choosing between Ayurveda and allopathy is that if you are, if you are choosing Ayurveda, let's say, I mean, first is glad to hear that Ayurveda is more about prevention than the cure. But when it comes to choosing between two, is dhairya or the patience, or with the patient, is the only factor where they jump to allopathy just for the quick results and don't have the patience to continue with Ayurvedic medicine. To what extent both of them hold true?
It's a very, very good question. Probably we need another session for to answer this, but I will be brief. I will be pointed and focused. A couple of years ago, maybe in 2019, 2018, I gave an interview to the Times of India. Nausea Syed was the interviewer. And I said that there was a very, this quote was very popular. I said that if Ayurveda and allopathy come together, India will become the medical superpower. So I think that they are not, they are not there to fight with each other. They are not rivals with each other. They must complement. They should complement each other. And unfortunately, the systems do not allow that. Yes, there are limitations to both. There are limitations to the Ayurveda research because unfortunately, we as a country where Ayurveda and yoga were born, were under the operation of many foreign invaders. And unfortunately, none of them had given any facilities for the research and contemporary relevance of Ayurveda and yoga. As far as choosing between Ayurveda and allopathy, modern medicine is concerned, one has to understand there is a very thin line between. There are various aspects to that. a lot of people have been insisting over the last few years that the deliveries must be natural and the cesarean sections should be avoided, or the diseases of musculoskeletal disorders must be treated with Ayurvedic medicine. So one has to understand exactly what is possible, what is available, and what is best. And the doctors play a big role in this. Not only the Ayurvedic doctor. Ayurvedic doctors will insist that you should take treatment from only Ayurvedic. And the allopathic will say that only allopathy is the medical science. So there is a big role. I have seen a lot of allopathic doctors who send patients to us, especially for cholelithiasis. If you know the stones in the gallbladder, or the stones, the renal calculi, the kidney stones, or hyperacidity, or various diseases. Doctors come to us as patients, so they do not have any problems or grudges. For instance, even Ayurvedic doctors need to prescribe a few tests and a few allopathic medicines. So there is no point in denying the strengths of both the sciences. I think we should start working in the integration, and that is going to be the key. That is only going to be the key. There is no point denying. The only thing is that a patient cannot choose between allopathy and Ayurveda. The doctors have to be the guides to suggest the right thing at the right time. I have seen a lot of people with polycystic ovaries, male infertility, female infertility, who have been receiving a lot of chemical treatments, the steroids, sorry, the hormones, and a lot of nourishment considered not Ayurvedic medicines, which is extraordinary, which can play a big role. Even in degenerative pathologies, I have been mentioning osteoarthritis, which is a degenerative pathology. None of the allopathic doctors will ask you to go for rheumatology. We have seen extraordinary results in rheumatological disorders only with Ayurvedic medicines. Just a few calcium or multivitamin supplements, and none of the allopathic medicine, or just a few instantial painkillers, and that's it. So this is the doctor's role to guide the people towards the right way of at that right particular at that particular state of the disease. So I think that is a very good question. uh, uh, what to choose, allopathy or Ayurveda? But the answer can be only given at that particular day and that particular consultation by the doctor.
Thanks.
And what was the second question? I probably I have covered everything, but
Yeah, you have covered. I think the second question was, treating the symptom versus the root cause. My
yeah, this is
understanding is,
again right. This is again. Look, if you get a fracture, if you go on a bike and somebody in an auto rickshaw comes and bangs you and you get a fracture, the root cause is the fracture. The root cause is the accident. You have to treat it as soon as possible. And Ayurveda also had a branch of surgicals and surgeries, because in ancient times there used to be wars. So people used to get the arrow in their eyes and the hands cut and everything. So there were a lot of medical advancements in that particular time also, which are written in the books like Charaka Samhita and Susruta Samhita. They will do a nasal repair. They will do the plasters and everything. So it's not that the root cause is always missed or by allopathic medicine. Our approach is completely different. To understand philosophy, pathology, we have to understand physiology. The modern physiology mainly uh, focuses on the chemical interactions within the body, and Ayurveda mainly focuses on understanding the energies, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, and the outcomes. So I think that both should work together. Once you say that the calcium is less, you should understand the vata is high. Once you know that the sugar is becoming high, you have to understand the kapha is high. So this should be this will be very interesting. I think that none of them is trying to explore this kind of for instance, if Vata and Kapha become high and they get vitiated and get stored into the Meda Dhatu, the cholesterol gets up, uh, and that this correlation is very interesting. And if that happens, then probably yes, the allopathic, there will be many puzzles of for the allopathic science, which will be solved with the help of Ayurveda. Liver hepatic disorders, the renal pathologies. I was talking to one of our friends who is a MD in allopathic medicine, MD medicine. He said to me that unfortunately, all the people who are diabetic today are going to have some pathology today or tomorrow, in 2 months or 2 years or 20 years, about the renal pathologies. So all the people who are diabetic today are potential renal failure candidates tomorrow. So if we start something which can protect their kidneys, as soon as we see some albumin in the urine or some creatinine levels moving here and there, as soon as we see that, probably there will be very few people who will end up having more serious renal complications and need renal transplants and the diuresis and all that stuff, which is very difficult to achieve the results from. If you look at the renal pathologies, the renal failure patients, it's very difficult for management. We do not have dialysis centers enough to cater even in a city like Pune, and it's so expensive. So, and the basic cause is diabetes. So, I think that if a person with diabetes and goes to an allopathic ophthalmologist and he sees that there is something wrong with the retina, there can be at least some allopathic consultations just to protect the retinal damage. And probably there will be so less blind people who had diabetes and landed up having retinal damage. So I think bringing them together is going to be the key.
Yes, so I think I would request everyone to give a big round of applause for unmuting themselves, please.
Thank you. You all are so kind. Thank you for patient hearing. I was actually watching a lot of sessions earlier, which I have made a point that at least for 10 or 15 minutes I attend the session every time, and I was really concerned how my speech was going to be how my
It
speech was
was a
going to be.
challenge for us that which topic we should give to or suggest, sir.
Well, I'm less scientific, but more practical. So a lot of people want to listen more scientific stuff in
No.
such seminars. But generally, I try to make it simple. So
The reason behind this was choosing the topic of coexistence. Sir himself, we can say, is the biggest symbol of what could be coexistence, and everybody will definitely agree with the kind of holistic approach that he has towards life. There are many aspects about Sir because he is my mentor or guru. We all understand how Guru Shishya Parampara we have. So as a guru, I have always seen him like the banyan tree, what a vriksha that we always know about it. So what's the beauty of this is for others who do not know, Sir is a great environmentalist and nature lover. And so he has himself a lot of things done in this regard. And he many a times give this example also. So the way you have a banyan tree, it's an indigenous Indian tree, where you can find so many creatures and other plants coexisting. Sir always used to say that there is a snake at the root where he creates his own, or the ants create their own anthill on the tree. Then you have many creepers on the banyan tree, and it's so many beautiful birds and everyone. They have their nests. It's the snakes who are into, or the woodpeckers. All these are a big family on the banyan tree. So whenever all this, we can say almost it's like 14, 15 years, it has been this journey. And all my colleagues who are, we all are shishas. Okay. We all experience this. Now all of my colleagues, some are very great legendary, like they are doing good as surgeons, anesthesiologists, and different aspects of life, they are doing well. And but I feel like we all are connected together, like the way the birds, the snake, and the ants all are connected with that banyan tree. We all are. It's Dr. Rakshay sir who is our epicenter, which or you can say our umbilical cord, which connects us all together. And it's the nutrition, the wise things that we all learn from him, inspires us, motivates us, and helps us move ahead. And whatever things that you see in me are somewhere coming from the main source. You might have seen where the source is. And another was all about our guru, Professor Dr. We can say a great Bhishma Pitama of Ayurveda, Professor Dr. P.H. Kulkarni sir. We are the 7th generation, like my generation is the 7th generation in them. So I remember the quote from Chanakya Niti, where they say, like, wise person is like an ocean. So the ocean gives water in the form of water vapor to the clouds. The clouds take it to the land, and the dry land, which is thirsty, gets water in the form of rain. This water comes in the form of rivulets, tributaries, then it forms a river, and it again gets back to the ocean. And that's what the philosophy of life that these people, maybe Rakshay sir, are all the legends in the field of International Ayurveda Association, Dirghaya International. This is what our generation have learned from them, that they are like ocean. And many a times when I see some of the people even in yoga, having a very narrow outlook towards life, or sometimes in other areas, I really feel that we should get inspired from these people. It's like ocean. If you are an ocean and you keep giving, it will never happen that you will fall short of something. And that's what, as living legends, they have been teaching us. So thank you, sir, for being a part of our life and blessing us.
If people are going to listen a couple of minutes, yes, I appreciate that, and that was a story I told you long time ago about the banyan tree, and it is a very good metaphor to apply to all the people who bring. And India has been a place of banyan trees. The banyan trees were all found in the households. The grandfathers used to be banyan trees. Everyone used to play in their grounds. Everyone used to come to their houses. They will feed everyone. And yoga philosophy, Bhagavad Gita says, Urdhva Mula Adashaka. The banyan tree is said to have the roots above, up, and the branches down. So it is not just about, it is a complete reverse philosophy. It is unlike all the other trees who take the nourishment from the soil and have their branches out. The banyan tree takes the nourishment also from other parts and grows similar trees everywhere. You are becoming a banyan tree in front of my eyes. All of my colleagues and students becoming banyan trees in front of my eyes, and this is an extension of myself. I'm an extension of my gurus. We all are one banyan tree. That's something very profound, and that's something. And this is how the network of goodness, as I mentioned, Deepika, I was talking to you. The network of goodness has to be, and this is very unlikely. These things, these are very rare moments when people come together without any expectations and benefits. This is very rare. This is very unique, and we have to cherish this.
So true, sir.
So I hope there are no questions. Are there any questions? No?
Sir, I want to say something.
Yes.
Namaskar, sir. And the session was very good, really very informative as always. आपको सुनना बहुत ही अच्छा लगता है. लेकिन sir, the thing is, I think it is the same like people are not aware of yoga, like people are not aware of Ayurvedic benefits. Like they have so many diseases. I mean, Ayurveda can cure almost all the diseases, as far as I know. मुझे ज़्यादा knowledge नहीं है Ayurveda का, but as far as I know, it can cure almost all the diseases and it can cure from the root cause. But people are not aware, and if we are telling them to like go for Ayurveda, they are not like they don't believe because they don't trust. Some people they don't trust. So it's very like same like yoga. They are not aware, so they are not doing. How to like convince them to go with Ayurveda?
Hina. Is it Hina?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hina.
Nice to hear you.
Thanks, sir.
Look, we have to do our job. You know, we cannot insist, we cannot push, we cannot compel people to choose what we think is right. The right will always prevail. The right will always live. The right and the correct. The sciences of yoga and Ayurveda has been there for last so many centuries, and none of the invaders, none of the foreign forces could kill them. They have always been there. So we must do our own jobs, regardless whether people want it or not, where people appreciate that or not. There will be people who will experience. I will tell you a few examples. Until a few years ago, young girls or boys who had issues will never go to an Ayurvedic doctor. They will say that the Ayurvedic clinics will give you bitter kadas and decoctions and tablets, and they will give you a lot of do's and don'ts, a list of pathyas. Now, yesterday itself, I was talking to you about the girl with hypothyroidism. She was 19 and she found us on Google and she said that I want only Ayurvedic medicines because I have been trying allopathic medicines. I have seen a lot of friends who have polycystic ovaries and I want to take only Ayurvedic medicine. So the things are changing. Someone in 200, someone in 100 is 1%. It's not less. So I think that we have to just go, because this is your work, your karma, your dharma is just to follow what comes your way, what you find right. It is not about people understanding whether it is right or wrong. If you look at the right or wrong, the concepts of right and wrong are going out and partying and drinking a lot of alcohol, eating animals. This is right for today. And there had been these forces, negative and positive, all during the history of mankind. It is not something which is happening today. So the enlightenment should come from within. You can just be the reason for it. You can just be the one who shows the path and forget about it. Our Guru always says that you just go on throwing the seeds. What is the outcome, whether the seeds grow into trees or bushes or they die, is not your work. You just go and throw the seeds. They will do their own work. Nature will work on its own. And time and destiny is something you cannot bypass. You cannot deny. So you do your work. You keep. So you have to put a little more force. You have to take more efforts to make people aware what are the goodnesses. You have to organize more conferences, maybe, and write more articles, so that a lot of people understand. And unfortunately, the people who work are not vocal. The good practitioners are not good orators, unfortunately. And there is, what is the benefit teaching free for me, sitting here 1 hour and a half and listening to praises from Vikas? He also, this can be done on phone call also, right? So what is the benefit? He's not going to pay me. So what is we have to think about a larger benefit. What is the larger? One larger benefit in one day will accumulate so much of goodness. No one understands this. So I think that uh, this is a time where everything goes around, revolves around benefits, that contemporary benefits and larger benefits. So we must choose between the among the larger benefit. What is my karma? What is my dharma? And when dharma and karma come together, the answers will be easily available. You don't have to ask anyone what is right and what is wrong.
Right, sir. Sir, like in allopathy, we have, sir, Vikas sir, am I taking time? It's already out. Thank you. Like in allopathy, we have lot of medicines, like a lot of in the sense, people are having vitamin D3 and calcium after COVID. तो बहुत ज़्यादा trend हो गया है इसका. Daily they are taking these medicines. Is there like these kind of medicine are there in Ayurveda also, and can we advertise them or can we use them for ourselves at least, so that it will be get advertising?
Yes, Hina. Sorry to cut you short, but if you look at the directives by the Department of Ayush, Central Government of India, at the beginning of COVID pandemic, they had a straightforward list of the herbs, minerals, and Agastya Rasayan was ashwagandha was prescribed, and people have benefited. I probably mentioned also in long COVID and the people with COVID lungs, lung involvement as high as 21%, which is 84% of the lungs. The score was 21, and it means that 84% of the lungs were damaged. The people are doing extremely well only with Ayurvedic medicines post COVID. So though they were COVID negative now, after say 15 days of their quarantine and treatment, they did not have the right, the normal lungs. And only with Ayurveda and yoga, they were cured and helped. So there are many. But as far as uh, vitamins are concerned, vitamin C, for instance, or vitamin B12 or vitamin D is concerned, it is not allopathy. It is the science of healing. They are nutraceuticals. That's not even pharmaceutical. So I think that there is no point denying the use of vitamin D. What is Surya Namaskar? The most ideal thing to do is to go out in the sun and do the sun salutations for 12 or 21 rotations every day. So I think that probably the people in the ancient times did not know vitamin D, but they knew that going under the sun, doing some physical activity with only one langot will give you an open skin, and all the vitamin D is manufactured under the skin with the effect of this normal sunlight. They knew that it is beneficial, and the benefits of sweating, the benefits of drinking hot water. They knew this. So I think that blaming, mentioning it in the perspective of allopathy or Ayurveda, it is inadequate. I think that pharmaceutical industry, if producing a lot of side effects, then we have to make people aware of that. But taking one tablet of paracetamol is not going to kill you. So all that is allopathic is not bad. One must understand that. We have, once you say that we are open, once you say that we are okay with all the good ideas, had it been that allopathy was all that bad, it wouldn't survive in the rest of the world. There is none of the people in West had heard about yoga and Ayurveda 50 years until 50 years ago. So it is only limited to India. I think that saying all that comes from allopathy is bad is not right. People have been making the same mistake as far as the vaccines are concerned. A lot of people ask me from all across the globe whether vaccines are good or bad. They can have bad effects on individuals, but that is good for the society. So there has to be some perspective also to that. So I think that all that is from allopathy is not bad, and not everything is explored in Ayurveda. So again, it has to be together. It has to be selected by the doctor. It has to be suggested by experts, and it has to be meticulously followed uh, by the people who need that.
Thank you, sir, for clearing my doubts. Thank you so much.
Yeah, most welcome. Anytime you can call me.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. I think it was a very, like you explained everything in a very simple way. What you focus, like what you said in the beginning, how to live happy, healthy, and a long life, and how we can combine yoga and Ayurveda together, and other principles of creating balance, and then how we should adapt to the situation. I think all the things which you told is definitely like very beneficial and very educative. Thank you so much, sir, for the
My pleasure,
session.
Deepika. You had been a great host.
Thank you, sir.
So thank you for having me here, and thank you for your patient hearing. I wish everyone from the Swasti family a great future, and you will become the yogis in modern times in the right perspective and with the right approach. So without having any grudges and without having any issues with any other science, we will go ahead together, united, as the word yoga itself means. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
So in the next week coming, we have Dr. Deepika ji, who is going to talk on the role of yoga in pregnancy. And followed on Sunday, we're going to have the next speaker that we have is very renowned. All the people in the field of yoga know him because he is the only Indian in the International Association of Yoga Therapists. So he's a great yoga therapist with a lot of research publications for more than 3 decades. His father himself was, both his parents were great yogis, yogi and yoginis. So Dr. Anand Balayogi is coming next Sunday, all the way from Pondicherry, from the International Center for Yoga Education and Research, ICER, which is very popularly known as Ananda Ashram, talking about various misconceptions on yoga therapy in yoga teachers. So hope to see you all for the next few sessions. And I would request Bankim ji to chant the Shanti Mantra from the Rigveda so that everybody enjoys this and concludes this beautiful program. Thank you.
Close your eyes. Om Dhyau Shanti Antarikshagum Shanti Prithvi Shanti Rapah Shanti Roshadhayah Shanti Shantir Vishve Devaha Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvagam Shanti Shanti Reva Shanti Sama Shanti Redhi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Rub your palms. Cover your eyes. Feel the warmth. Open your fingers, make some gap and let the light enter your eyes. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. Good night.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
sir.
much.